When Borough Hall opened, the city of Brooklyn was only 10 years old and had a population of less than 25,000 people. The New York State Legislature granted Brooklyn its city charter on April 8, 1834. The following year, a design competition was held for a city hall, and it was won by the architect Calvin Pollard. City Hall was sited on a plot of land that was donated by the owners of parts of it, the Pierrepont and Remsen families, which are remembered in the name of nearby streets. City Hall was to contain the offices of the mayor and the city council, as well as a courtroom and a jail. This was typical of early 19th century city halls, which contained all of the functions of the city government within one building. Like many of Pollard's designs, City Hall would have a Greek Revival style. The cornerstone was laid in 1836, but only the foundation was built due to financial problems. The building was resumed in 1845. The design and supervision of construction was passed to a man named Gamaliel King, a carpenter and a grocer who in 1835 had been the runner-up to Pollard in the City Hall design competition. By 1845, with King in charge, much of Pollard's designs was retained. However, it was simplified and reduced in size. King's design for the building was a 4-story building with a temple front. The structure is made of Tuckahoma marble. The main facade faces north with a giant marble stairway leading up to an Ionic-style portico with 6 freestanding columns that support a triangular pediment. The triangular pediments cap 50 of the building's 166 windows. The exterior decoration was kept to a minimum, except for the temple front. City Hall was rectangular in plan with 2 wings projected slightly from the back. Instead of a dome, which was a standard feature in government buildings of the period, King had a wooden, ornate Victorian cupola with a clock that doubled as a fire lookout and a bell tower. The incomplete City Hall opened in 1848. Some of the rooms in City Hall were still not finished until the 1860s. In the building's interior, an east-west corridor runs down a series of rooms leading to a double-height courtroom with cast-iron columns and arches. On February 26, 1895, waste paper caught fire and destroyed the cupola and the top floors of the building. There was also water damage that ruined the walls and the ceiling of the Common Council chamber. The 3,500-pound bell in the cupola plunged to the cellar, and a flag was then added to crown the building. In 1898, the new cast-iron cupola, designed by Staunton & Staunton and Vincent Griffin, was installed. This was the same year that Brooklyn became part of New York City, and City Hall became Borough Hall. In 1902, the old Common Council room, which was no longer in use, was renovated into a courtroom. Architect Axel Hedman used a Buick's art design, which was a great addition to the building. The elaborate courtroom has a coffered dome ceiling, carved wood paneling, flooded Ionic columns, and ornate plasterwork. In 1966, the then recently formed New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission designated Borough Hall as a landmark. City officials, particularly Borough President Howard Golden, helped form the Borough Hall Restoration Foundation in the late 1970s to raise funds to renovate the building. The city later agreed to participate. On January 10, 1980, the building was added to the National Register of Historic Places, and in 1982, renovations began on Borough Hall. The architect used for the renovations was William Conklin of Conklin-Rosant. Conklin changed the size and proportions of Borough Hall's main rotunda. He added stairways and shifted walls. Black and white marble tiles covered the floors. The Beaux Arts style courtroom has a gold leaf dome ceiling and brass and crystal chandeliers. The 1898 cupola was restored by Les Metaliers Champignons, the French firm that renovated the Statue of Liberty. As originally planned by Gamaliel King, a bronze statue of Lady Justice was placed on top of a new cupola. To restore the rotunda to its original state, it was necessary to widen it, making room for two new marble stairways to climb up its sides. The rotunda was lined in a Tennessee marble with a purplish gray cast, which possesses the Greek Revival architect. Brooklyn Borough Hall is one of the most significant government buildings in Brooklyn. It is now home to Brooklyn Borough President Marty Markowitz and serves as a tourism and visitor center of Brooklyn.